so I'm not the best caster in the world, but by the end of this video I want to know if this rod is worth spending a little bit extra on so you can get that better distance without being technically proficient in the cast, and is it really worth spending that little bit more than I normally would on a beach rod, and what sort of quality do you get? It certainly looks the business.
The cast with Coniflex we had, and Zipflex, big old macho man doing the pendulum caster. I can't do that anymore, so we'll do a little review today of something. It's still powerful, it's still a continental-ish rod. You still be able to cast 5-6 ounce leads. So this Sonik rod we're going to look at today has been recommended to me from so many different anglers, match anglers, old, young. If you go to a beach match, look at these proper anglers. A lot of them are using that Sonik rod. So I am a average beach angler. Just look at my videos, that'll tell you. But for someone like me, I need something that I can cast out and it's still going to get a reasonable distance without really having to load up that rod. We've reviewed different rods on the channel before, and they've been excellent, really, really good, but you do need to have a little bit more precision in your cast. This is a bit more forgiving, but it also feels really good. Now, I've fished with it a few times.
When you put the rod together, it just fits perfectly well. There's no sort of stiff bits, really nice and smooth. I think that's what you're paying a little bit of extra money for, isn't it? Like really well machined. And then I'm just going to do this sort of first cast where I'm not going to blast it out, and it's just interesting to see if it will just flick out. Obviously with stiffer rods designed for multipliers, butt down casting, this sort of cast is quite hard, but let's just give this a go. It's always worth it, you know, just to make sure that the line's not tangled on your first cast, so no bait on there. Nice and controlled, isn't it, as a rod? You see how that compressed quite quickly? So if you look at this is like a little half pendulum, it's not a proper cast. But just look, when we slow that down, how the rod compresses. It gets like a nice early compression, so you don't need to, I'm not sure what my fist pump was for. Yeah, I'm not putting much into it, and yet that rod's doing a lot of the work, isn't it? And that is a benefit of a more continental style rod, not as stiff. It will cope with a sort of a broad range of casts. So you might be able to pick out from that. It's stiff in the butt, which is what you want, and then it's a progressive compression, or the lead's compressing it, isn't it? It's quite, it feels good. I think that's probably the layman's way of explaining it. It's not a snappy cast like we've had, say, with the Sonetic that we used in another review. I'll leave a link to that. But yeah, nice and smooth, and a city fist pump. So looking back at this cast here, it's not a very good cast. I've set the cast up. I'm doing like what I'd call a fishing pendulum. It's like a half pendulum really. I'm very unbalanced. My left leg's moving when it shouldn't. And at this point here, just pause it, it snatches at the cast. And then for some reason I'm sort of jumping up in the air. But the point I'm trying to make isn't a critique of my casting. It's more that the rod can correct for that casting because it's got a lot of give in there, because you can get a lot of power even by, you know, not winding a cast up. And the same would be true of using a lighter weight as well. You know, these will fly out a nice sort of 3-ounce lead, which is a good advantage of them over the more powerful casting tools. This is the Jackery rod. Just hasn't really got that backbone. I mean, it's okay. It's okay. It's like a £100 rod, so it's a third of the price. And you know, I'm not really confident in smashing out a cast, but it's perfectly fishable. So using that pen affinity.
One of the first things you realise when you're reeling in the weight and it's bouncing around in really good contact, and it's picking everything up. I mean, at the moment we're not getting any fish. Keep a keen eye on that, and comparing it to the Jackery, and it really is like a price comparison as well. I've always been interested in this. Is it worth spending £50–60 more on a rod, or in this case £150–200 more on a rod? What do you get for your money? It's value for money, isn't it? So we'll try and dig this out of the weed and shingle. It's probably snagged under there. It's pretty hard going. Just want to give you an idea of what you're getting for your money, really. So great, we've got the lead out, that's the main thing, and then we'll stay in contact with that lead. Doesn't feel like a fish on here. And yeah, I mean, it's got some power in it. Coming in quite smoothly. Now, let's see.
A slightly better cast, putting a little bit more effort in. Slightly better cast, putting a little bit more effort into it. And just look how the rod straightens up after I've cast. Look, straight as a die almost. It's not wobbling around after the cast, if that makes sense. So again, you know, not to critique my casting, but more just look how that rod bends. There's the power. I've not had to wind up a big cast, and it's nice and stiff once the weight's out there, flying through the air. Then that rod's nice and stiff, and that just really feels good to have that. I'm using these Anglex trays again. It's not an advert for Anglex. This is a sponsored episode today, but not for the rod, so I'm able to say whatever I want about the rod and these trays from Anglex. Just found it really useful having everything under the tripod. Don't know if you use this sort of thing. Just trying to make my fishing a bit better organised, really. You can obviously you've got that advantage of picking the whole thing up as the tide comes in or out, not walking back to your box all the time. Keep the bait in there. So today's video is not sponsored by the Gravity X5. I haven't been sent this for free. I don't have to say anything nice about it. It's genuinely because I think it will really help you out to know a little bit about the rod. However, today's episode is sponsored by the brilliant Jackery. I genuinely have been utilising this for all sorts of things. This is the Jackery Explorer 500 V2. As you can tell, this is a very portable power box. You've got your 3-pin plugs on there. You've got a light here, super bright light on there, really good. It's flashing as SOS, but you can use it as a normal torch as well. DC and AC. I've been utilising it for all sorts of things, fishing and non-fishing as well. Believe it or not, I'm actually using it for a little back heater in the car as well. I must be getting soft in my old age. So you can take it down on the beach. You've obviously got your USB-C, got 100 watt there. You've got the 30 watt USB-C plus your USB-A as well. It's even got an energy saving mode and what we used to call the cigarette lighters, that DC 12 volt. That's a 10 amp one as well. You can use that for all sorts of things. So for me, I'm plugging in the phone, really quick on the charging as well. I've got that fast drone charge as well. Torches, I've got lights for filming and fishing. The heater for the car as well, that gets plugged in. I wouldn't recommend this unless it was something I utilised myself and I rated. I really do think these are brilliant. There's even a little plug in there, look, and that is for a solar panel as well. So if you're going away for a weekend, if you've got a fishing trip planned, the Jackery Explorer 500 V2 I really think you'll benefit from. To get your own one, there's a link in the description below, and there's even a discount code there as well. And I wouldn't recommend it to you unless it was something I used myself and rated. I do like to have a little walk along to see what the tide's washed up. Bigger tides today, and that tends to plonk a lot of stuff in amongst the usual bits of plastic. Sometimes get good clues as to what the fish might have been feeding on, particularly where you've got, you know, cockles and what have you. There's mainly the seagulls that would be the first indication. They're obviously closer. They're obviously close to some mussel beds that, when they come in a bit more intact, bigger bits of seaweed. We were talking the other day about that, what do they call it? Whale vomit. And now almost anything you think, because you're going to get so much money for finding that. Apparently it's called whale vomit. I don't know. It's probably got a proper name, but you just don't know what it is. That's something weird anyway. Cuttles. Let's have a look. I say something. It could always be weed. There's nothing on there. Or is there? No. Snagged. Got it out the snag, but no fish. Unless it's swimming towards us. I think that's just weed on there. Just something suddenly took it, like a tuna. Well,
tie. I've caught quite a lot in my life, but I've never caught tie. A tie. There's a businessman out there, is there? Jesus Christ.
So I'm just going to put on some footage now of what the thing actually looks like, just to give you almost a feel of the rod. And you are getting for your money, obviously, really well whipped rings. You've got that carbon look, haven't you? Like exposed carbon weave look on there. Those grips are really good as well. It's got like a rougher area, so that when you're gripping that in the wet and you're putting one of those 3 sections together, the grip works really well. And obviously it's, you know, brilliantly machined as well. The reel seat is good, but it's not faultless. I've actually, you know, it has sort of stiffened up on the beach, and not because it's got sort of sand in it. So I'm not giving that full marks at the moment, and we'll continue using the rod on the channel, and then I'll report back. But as it stands, it's sort of adequate, I suppose. The reel seat, nothing particularly special in there, but of course it will take a good variety of fixed spool reels on there as well. So yeah, have a little look, see what you think. Obviously you're not going to catch more fish, but there is a pleasure, isn't there, in having a nicely finished rod.
So this is a fixed spool rod, really. I think this is a pretty much fixed spool rod, really. I mean, you can use multipliers, but I'm going to get the most ease of use, I think, out of the big fixed spool. This is the Penn Affinity 8000. Use an overhead cast. Oh, it's lovely. Just to give it a little flick, just to get what that feeling's like. I think we're going to get a bit further. I mean, it's so light. Obviously we've got the fixed spool on here. And that midsection seems very stiff. It's a really progressive, it feels a bit progressive action. So by that I mean, I don't know, I've had rods that are just very tippy. Let's just try and, obviously got the lighter weight here, but what I'm going to do is an off the ground cast. So just put that under the tip and then flick it out. Yes. It's gonna be good. So you can see, you know, you don't need much casting skill if you're a beginner just to flick it out. And this is what this rod will allow for. I've got a feeling I could probably double that distance though with a little half swing, so we'll have a look at that in a minute. Lovely. You can fish with these lighter leads, but it's also rated, isn't it? Let's have a look, what does it say? Yeah, I mean, it's saying it's 8 ounce. I mean, that is one powerful cast. That is one powerful rod if you'll stick an 8 ounce on that, isn't it? I mean, we're only using these. So I want to test a little bit of a heavier setup with the sort of rig that we'll be using on the south coast here. This is a 2-hook. This is a 2-hook clip rig using those cascade swivels. Using those cascade swivels, a 2-hook rig. Yeah, so you just want to see what it's like with a sort of heavier weight.
So in terms of catching fish, it was sort of picking out the bites. Not perfectly well. We've obviously going to catch a couple of whiting here. No problems at all with bringing in these fish, and it's worth mentioning, isn't it, that, you know, I'm fishing here on shingle ground on the south coast. It's a little bit soft and easy fishing, isn't it? But I dare say, you know, even on rock marks, this rod will be absolutely fine. You'll be able to bring in ray and conger with it. It's got that sort of power behind it. I'd be really confident bringing in a 20-pound conger off the beach with this. So I don't think you need anything stiffer. I'd fancy my chances as well. Just feeling it today, I fancy my chances against a shore taupe as well. Don't need anything mega stiff. Even lifting that vertically over sort of deeper rocks you tend to find in the west of the country. Yeah, I'm pretty confident that would handle a bigger fish. Not that I catch too many of them. So, have you got one of these rods? What do you reckon? Do you rate it? Have you used one? I mean, the verdict for me is it is worth the extra money. I've been comparing that to my other £100, 150 rods, and this one, you know, you should be able to get it under 300 quid from places like Gerrys or Veals, and yeah, I mean, it's a terrific rod. I really recommend spending that little bit more on a beach rod. And then this one is a bit more forgiving than some of the more powerful rods that we've looked at before on the channel. So yeah, I don't think you'd be disappointed. But let us know what you think. I mean, you know, perhaps you fish parts of the country where you think this will be too soft, but I've got a feeling this will be great even on those bigger rock marks as well. And as I say, you know, for an average caster as well, it will correct those casts. And yeah, I mean, obviously no problem bringing in the whiting, but yeah, let us know what you think. I've certainly enjoyed using it.
Just double check to see if they're pollock or even a coalfish. Occasionally we'll get a coalfish here, but not today. That's taken that right down. One's the seagull, I think.
So we do a few reviews on the channel, though I'm mainly lure fishing for bass. We have taken a look at this Daiwa Kenzaki as well. It's a more punchy rod, I suppose. You might be able to pick it up for under 200 quid if you can get hold of one. And this is a review we've done previously on the channel. It's a little bit stiffer and you have to be a lot more accurate in your cast on this one than you would have on the Sonik that we've just reviewed. So it's a little bit sharper, I suppose, a little bit punchier, faster, and there is a narrow band of power, but you hit that power right and the lead will go flying out as well, and this would be better across some of those deeper rock marks, sort of almost winching in fish with, of course, multipliers. I think a rod like this is more suited to a multiplier than, say, the Sonik one, which seems to suit the fixed spool on it really. The other thing you can do is check second hand. I find a lot of sea fishing shops do have a good second hand collection as well. Might be something you want to look at. A lot of people buy these rods, don't they, and then don't use them or have to give up fishing. So you will find a few sort of seconds and up to well used rods in your tackle shop. Always worth a little go. And some of these tackle shops as well have their own eBay shops, so yeah, don't discount eBay either, although I wouldn't buy one off Temu. As for the reels, I mean, we sort of brushed over it today, but tend to like the bigger surf casting reels, Penn, Surf Blasters, Finity, AVX 10,000, £15 line on those. Seem to have lasted quite well, my Surf Blaster reels. And then if you are totally new to sea fishing as well, you kind of want the reel position. So say you're right-handed, your right hand's going to be over the reel, and you kind of want it positioned where the butt of the rod is under the armpit. You can see on this old footage, and then your hand is like that. So that's the sort of distance you want. Now, where you've got a rod, you can move the reel seat. You can obviously adjust it to suit. That's what this Penn one has, for example. But previous, the cast is slightly different. You see that? The blank is a lot stiffer. It doesn't sort of flick as much. Again, corrects itself quite well. Goes back to being straight once you punched it out. But there's a narrower band, isn't there, of power on there. Some good autumn conditions. There we go. Right, I think I've shown enough. I could keep talking and boring you all to death with this, but it really is, for me, it's quite interesting. And you know, we work hard, a lot of us, and we want to get the most of out of our money. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you got this far, that's the old Colmic rod. I snapped the tip off the Colmic rod, unfortunately. That's another good budget Continental, and the Penn Tidal there in the foreground. Slightly sort of thicker butt.